the newest one?
Assumed likeness. And the other one was armor lock.
Beyond the stars lie a web of pearls, each gemstone a miniature world unto itself. Upon these worlds interconnected our stories are told, and the fate of creation hangs in the balance. Welcome to the Titan's Gift.
That's fine.
The assumed likeness. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Titan's Gift Campaign, episode 11. I'm your dim and host, Barty, joined by Neil, Matt, Levi, and Luke. How is everyone doing this afternoon? This fine December evening.
So cold.
So good, dude.
Pretty good, yeah. All right.
You big baby. We could kick the door open.
I will play upstairs.
It is about 4 degrees warmer upstairs.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone's week since last we met? Not everyone once.
Pretty. All right.
Cold.
What happened? I can't even remember. Where am I? What day is it?
Perfect. Awesome, Luke. I like your disguise today too. Your costume. He's the real Slim Shady.
Guy with a warm head.
Oh, let's unmute.
Do you like primals?
Nice. Okay. Great. Anyone with anything to share? How's it going, Neil?
No complaints whatsoever, buddy. It's that time of the year again, so Christmas songs on radio and stuff like that, pretty good. All in all, pretty fun.
Put up a tree. I put up a tree.
Yeah, we did the
went out
same.
and got a tree, and it's the first year with kittens.
So they're tearing it up.
So no glass ornaments on the tree. And actually, they're doing pretty good. They haven't climbed it at all yet. They haven't
tinsel.
Jumped on it from some other platform. They just sort of bat the low-hanging ornaments, which we knew they would do. So honestly, it's going pretty well.
It's a success.
I think they like it too.
Well, Matt, you'll like this. I've got a permanent fixture here, checking out, making sure I'm not cheating on my character sheet.
Just chilling like a villain.
See, the thing is, she's from Africa. Well, he's from Africa, so he did not grow up in the cold. So the laptop is nice and warm.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He does that in summer as well, just so you know. He wants the heat. He misses the heat.
What kind of cat?
Oh, it's just a pavement special,
Afrikaan.
Something that hit the pavement and just looked up and said, "Give me a home."
Got an Africat.
Oh.
Yeah, an Africat. Yeah, an Africat. There you go. There you go. That'll do it.
All right, why don't we do a recap of what happened last week? It was called The Hut with Chicken Feet. Episode 10. Luudo, Manny, Tek, Sirac, Gagat, and Mokranum find themselves trapped in a strange hut. A hut with giant chicken feet. On the corpse of Gaedran, they find the key of infinite portals. Luudo uses the key to travel back to the Malavella Manor from the door of the hut, reuniting with the party. The entire party returns to explore the hut and the wonders it contains. Dangers, too, as some of the items prove deadly and the place hints at the nature of its fell master. The party retreats from the hut after finding their stolen goods, returning to their comfortably familiar Slough district. Zalara sends the party visions, bidding them to return to the hut with chicken feet. And I think more specifically, she wanted you to play with the cards on the table in the hut,
Yes.
which you did not do.
That is correct.
Yes.
Now we know.
That does sound like us.
That's perfectly fine. You got wowed by all the other things. Speaking of the other things, we're going to enter into a little bit of a downtime mode. Now, in this downtime mode, I've had the players. They also leveled to level 5. I've had the players write down the things that they wanted to do and they wanted to buy. I'll quickly go through that, but I also have some set encounters planned as they wander around the slough and interact with the people there. Let me open up my notes, which should have already been open. Why don't we go around and sort of summarize the things that your characters got as they leveled up, and then we can go through what they want to do during the downtime. Malbut and Buchrabech end up selling your items for you.
Right.
So you guys had quite a lot of wealth that you dragged out of the hut, plus that was on Gaedran, that even after giving some of the magical stuff amongst yourselves, then got sold. You can start spending your money. Malbut and Buchrabech, it'll take them about 15 days to complete the selling of this stuff. They can bring you money as they're selling it, so you can spend your money as you're going. So that can happen basically in parallel. We'll say that Malbut did a good job selling the first group of items at a low enough cost that you guys hired him to do the rest, and then he got Buchrabech involved because Buchrabech, while he may have some contacts that Malbut did not in selling some of the goods.
Sure.
Buchrabech is the Boggard priest of Bompa Dhamadomba, the god of many hands that you met in the first episode. He was standing up at the bar, the big happy,
Right.
big happy-go-lucky
Froggish man.
frogman.
Yes. Yeah.
Luudo, I think, finds a place to add some magic to his katana, and after mentioning this to Zephyros, or to the party, Zephyros, I think you took a particular feat at 5th level. What was it?
Craft magic arms and armor.
Do you offer your services to the party, or are you going to keep this capability to yourself?
I am offering the service to the party indeed, because there's a couple of other things that they have that I want too.
Got it. So it appears in the spirit of working together, especially given that you have some powerful artifacts in your collective possessions now. The party is starting to congeal. Whew. I did not know how this party was going to congeal, and I'm glad that it happened on game 11. I'm like, it's a challenge keeping these guys together. So, Zephyros, you live in a place called, I'm looking for the name, the Iron Pine Residence, correct?
I have to confirm that for you in my notes, but yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so the Iron Pine Residence is made from the wood of an iron pine.
Right.
And is nearly indestructible. Iron pine, basically, the wood and needles take on the properties of iron or metal. Mm-hmm. And right next door, I mean, like you share the same heat from this building, is the Goathorn Smithy. You do need a good crafting spot in order to craft items.
Okay.
Give me a diplomacy check or some sort of relevant check related to crafting or appraisal or mercantile. This is to determine how friendly you are with the proprietors of the Goathorn Smithy.
So I can give you a craft weapons, I can give you a craft, or I can give you an appraise check. My diplomacy is horrid.
Okay, give me one of those.
Okay, I'll give you a craft weapons. I've got a +9 in craft weapons, so I'll do 1d20 +9. I mean, you don't want a spellcraft check, obviously. Oh dear me, nat 1.
Okay.
Starting off strong.
At least it's natural.
I need a good name for a satyr, an old goat.
Oh.
Timmy?
Big horns or something.
We're so creative.
I'm gonna call him Atticus.
Goatman!
That's a fine name. It's a
Goatmanton!
It feels a little Greek.
Name him Eric
Atticus.
Shunman.
Yep.
Atticus Goatmanton.
It's not Goatmanton. Thank you.
Come on.
All right, I'm gonna put down on the conversation layer. I'm gonna put down Atticus. Now, Atticus has always just given you a hard time. Ever since you were a young Fant, and you coming around, you wanted to, like, we'll say that you've always wanted to make magic items. And Atticus, while he is, he just kind of gets under your skin. You don't know whether he likes you or not. You think he hates you, but you know that your master and Atticus have, like, sort of an arrangement where your master will identify items for Atticus, and Atticus will allow your master to use some space. Your master's technically still alive, which means that you fall under this agreement, but he's just an annoying bastard. Like
Okay.
you don't enjoy going over there.
Okay. Does that penalize me in a little way when I'm rolling?
It's just you get to decide whether or not you want to use the facilities that Atticus provides at the Goathorn Smithy, or if you want to try to find your own another smithy to work at. This would be the most convenient.
I'm going to stick to the convenience simply because I can ride on the luck of my master at this point.
Got it. Okay, so it appears that Manny also wants magic put inside of his big sling.
Yeah.
And Luudo wants magic put inside his katana. They're both masterworks, so that could work.
Yeah.
Were there any other magic or magic arms or weapons that you guys wanted magic put into?
We're also putting +1 into my staff, my quarter staff, I think. Oh, yeah, it's a masterwork quarter staff that I'm going to turn into a +1 properly.
So, magic weapon is the prereq for this?
Yes.
It's a first level spell. Do you have the spell?
Can I buy it?
Yes, it's probably common enough that you could purchase it. That would mean that the DC of the craft check for making +1 weapons is 8.
I'm just opening up the spell quickly.
Is it possible to fail so bad you, like, destroy the item or something?
It is possible to destroy the material components you're using for the item. It's also possible to
fail by enough.
Yeah.
If you're really
if you really fail,
If you-
you could create cursed items. That's how cursed items get created.
Okay, so I've got craft weapons on a +9, so this means just don't roll a 1.
No, it means you can't fail. Foxfire, how's it going?
Okay, so that means I can't fail. Don't have to roll.
All right, so here's Atticus. You gotta love that, put him.
Looks like a dick.
How did they let you out of your pen? Look at you. You think you're a wizard, huh?
I am a wizard.
No, you're not. Your master's a wizard. You're just an apprentice.
Okay, and you are?
An apprentice-infant.
And what are you exactly? What do? You think that makes you a smithy?
Oh, I'm a master smith, of course.
Ah, I'm a master wizard, of course.
No, you're not. Look at you. You don't even know how to pour the metal right.
Sure, but that's only a part of what I do, but that's all of what you do.
Look at you. You're using the wrong tool. That's too big.
Yes, but that's so that I can hear you from afar, so that I can look busy.
you're over here to look busy, huh? Trying to escape your master's chores, huh?
No,
I always knew you were lazy.
trying to escape your chores.
I always knew your people were lazy. That's how they got so big.
You people, that's mighty racist of you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got a lot to do. Maybe you should just leave
Your horns are in the wrong spot.
Right. Well, they are where they are.
The gods would have given you a long nose that could grab things if you weren't lazy.
I could also slap people with it if they weren't so annoying.
Yeah, well, you could probably do that, but your eyesight's probably pretty bad, too. On the count of, being lazy.
You've got this thing that reminds me of somebody that I knew once. Never liked him much.
Oh, yeah, fans never forget a thing, huh?
So they say.
I don't know who they are, but they're wrong.
I don't know who you are, but you are plenty wrong, too.
I hear you can't even cast third circle spells yet.
Really? I could turn you into a ball of fire if I wanted to.
Oh,
but I'm not gonna.
You think old Atticus is afraid of a bit of fire, huh?
No, I thought you might actually like some fire.
Well, make sure you clean up when you're done. I don't want to see any mess. Worst thing right now would for me to be go over there and get old Tillman to get out of his sickbed. You know he's dying in there, right?
I think you need to be a little bit more respectful.
Me? What about you? Instead of tending to your master, what are you doing? You're in here bending. Oh, that's not how you make a magic blade.
Well, instead of honoring the agreement that you have with my master, you're standing here beleaguering me about it. Maybe you should just take a step back yourself.
Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Great big Tusker's got his feelings hurt.
Well, you can only hope to make friends in life. Maybe that's not going to happen for you and I based on this discussion.
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
Those etchings are way too big.
Then what should they be like?
Small.
Why? Are your hands small? Have you seen my hands?
If I gotta explain it to you, then that's gonna be one upset customer. Right. I assume you're doing it for money.
You think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Everything in life is not about money.
I see a lot of the buzzards swarming. It's gonna be fun around here.
Well, it just so happens that I'm not doing it for money.
Oh, well.
You see, we actually need these weapons when we go out there in the wild. We don't get to
you
stay
need
in
them.
here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You think yourself a Tusker.
Yeah, that's right, says the guy who thinks himself a smithy.
Oh. All right, then I'll leave you to it.
You leave me to it indeed.
He sort of glances at what you're doing.
Don't come blaming me when they're all broken and the magic's leached out. And you're wondering why and somebody's stabbing you and you don't have a magic weapon.
I won't do that if you don't come to me crying when the world is being run over by magic because I refuse to help you.
Oh, you think I'm gonna hire you after your master croaks, huh?
You think you're gonna have money to hire anybody after my master croaks?
Oh.
You look down the street, you think half of this stuff is here because this is a pretty street? Yeah, that's a bit of a nervous laugh, isn't it?
Fucking Tusker.
You go do your thing, I'll go do mine.
All right then, Tusker. They certainly broke the mold with you, didn't they?
Oh, are you still here? I'd already gone on and done my own thing.
That's what was our relationship before? One. They hate each other.
Yeah, well, we gotta just stick to the script, right?
Right. Yeah, he wanders away. You have to kind of put up with that while you're crafting your items. Yeah. But he's got all the tools in the proper space, and now you get to thinking, after receiving so much money from this
from the sales of magic items, maybe you could just buy the smithy from him and use it yourself. Like you're wondering now of who owns your master's house when he's gone, and a bunch of things that haven't been resolved.
Yeah, and also because we've got the key that we can use to open any doors, I can essentially come back here at any time and craft something for us.
Oh, look at you using your noodle. Now we're cooking with gasoline. So, yeah,
That's not a cooking field.
that is a cooking fuel. So that was Zephyros. What are the other things that you're doing? You probably want to speak to your master at some point and deliver the bag, which we'll get to. And then you had some spells and things that you wanted to buy.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a couple of spells I want to buy. There's the bag. I also have to, and I'm not sure whether you want to do it now or whether you want to do it as part of the quest for the bunch of us. But I've got to go and deliver the staff. Let me just find that note.
Traveling to another pearl is definitely an adventure activity.
Right.
So you want to eventually go and visit the conclave.
That's correct.
In the Badlands.
Correct. Okay, so that's not part of it now. I didn't know where the conclave was. That's why I'm asking.
Eventually, there will be a point where it will be so safe that the hut will be a thing that you guys are launching from for adventures if you decide to. Mm-hmm. At this point, the hut is pretty fucking dangerous, and you're probably thinking twice after nearly being death spelled and having a giant dire polar bear rug animating that going back there without the party is probably a bad idea. Same with the Malavella Manor. That place is incredibly dangerous. You might be foolish to go there alone. That is the DM putting guardrails on, let's not have solo adventures, shall we?
Well, we are pretty foolish, so...
Okay,
but I do want to have a scene with your master.
Okay.
So I'm going to put down you want to go with the Badlands, and then we're going to have a master scene tonight. So I'm going to put that on a sticky note, put that in front of me. All right.
Question in terms of spells to purchase, is there a limit of what we can buy in the market here for spells? So caster level 1 or something like that, or what can we buy?
You can probably buy up to 3rd level spells that are part of the core rulebook.
Okay, and the pricing for them would be the same as...
The pricing is in the meta section under spells and scroll summary. There should be a scroll
purchase price, and then there's even a scroll purchase price plus the ink cost to put it in your spellbook.
Okay. All right. You can continue. I'll go.
All right. Cool.
No, good questions. These are all
questions I expect from a wizard.
Thank you.
How do I get more spells? It's like if you weren't asking that question, there was something wrong. So you spend some time upgrading your staff, Luudo's katana, and the oversized halfling sling staff that belongs to Manny. Which means that Luudo, you get $1,000 back because he saved you some money. Assuming that you are doing this for free, you're not like splitting that 1,000 in half and calling it wizard tax.
I'm not calling a wizard tax, but I am offering people who I do stuff for to put that into a cash pile that both the professor and I can use to buy magic ink, so that we can use that magic ink when we use our shared spell books.
So how much of the 1,000 gold pieces are you putting
into the slush fund?
It's donation based.
Okay.
Whoever I do it for can decide how much they want.
You get $1,000. I like that. You get $1,000 back. He's also saying, by the way, it's very expensive being a wizard.
Yeah. I'll split it. That's
okay.
Fair.
So 500. Keep track of that. The wizard slush fund is at 500. Manny sees you doing the same, and he will do the same at the same amount. Cool. So I'll put $500 on Manny's sheet. Put $500 in the wizard slush fund.
Neil, are you going to track this slush fund, or?
I'll track the slush. Well, you can track the slush fund. How about you track it? Otherwise, you're not going to get anything magic to do.
The professor loves money. I am terrible with money. It's a bad idea.
Well,
Manny also sold one of the Formian spears, so he's actually rolling in dough right now.
That's my boy.
And we're going to turn that slush fund into magic ink.
Yeah. How much is it up to right now?
1,000.
1,000. So we've got 1,000 in there that we can turn into magic ink. And then we also have magic ink in the party stash. So actually you can track that on the party stash. You don't have to put it on your sheet. You can put it in the party stash.
Nice.
And we can keep the magic ink there and just use it out of that, right?
So, Luudo,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I heard that you wanted to go visit the Devil's Fork pawn shop.
Yeah.
Okay. You had some business there that you wanted to do, and when we get to that scene, I'll want to know who you take with you.
Okay.
We'll get to Fareosae in a minute. Professor, it looks like you wanted to study spells with Zephyros.
Mhm.
So you spent some time with Zephyros. You wanted to craft some wands because you learned how to do wand crafting.
Yes.
Awesome. There was something about the fleshy bag of holding that was on Gaedran that you had butchered off of it. You want to find a place to that could help you reattach that to yourself somehow.
And ask some questions about it.
Okay, so you're gonna look for a flesh crafter. That will be a scene, and we'll figure out who you take along with you. Give me a knowledge arcana for that one. Or a knowledge local.
I think maybe Arcana might be higher for me. Plus 11 as opposed to 7. Yeah. 31? Yeah.
Oh, you know exactly where to go. There is a neighborhood in the Slough
Yes.
called Leatherton.
Ah, Leatherton.
Leatherton is known for having. It's not a good smelling place, we'll just say.
Quite foul, really.
Leatherton has
Guild shops.
tanneries, butcheries, stockades for animals where most of the horrible smells come from. Tanning is an awful, awful smelly thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, deep within the Fleshwerks, deep within Leatherton is something called the Fleshwerks Marketplace. The Fleshwerks Marketplace is a place where there are tattoo artists, piercers, and even flesh crafters. It is the type of place where if you had a fresh organ to sell, that you could get rid of it there in a quasi-illegal marketplace. Cadavers, if you wanted it for experimentation, this is the place you would go to if you had the contacts to buy and sell such morbid and necromantic things. With a 31, you know of the doctor's name.
Mm-hmm.
This doctor is renowned for sewing bits and bobs that don't originally belong to you onto your person.
Mm-hmm.
It is an Aka being a bird person, and that bird person's name is
Bird person?
Yep.
Stitches.
Stitches get stitches.
Where did I stick all the tokens I created? Dr. Zekel.
Ah.
And Dr. Zekel's, with a 31, his handler is named Mr. Biggs.
Ah. Yes, Mr. Biggs.
They're kind of a pair, like they're inseparable. What else do you know about the Fleshwerks Market? You know that there is somebody that is greatly feared in the Fleshwerks Marketplace called simply the Thulian.
Ooh.
The Thulian is probably the weird merchant you would deal with if you ever came across monster parts and bits and bobs. Like everyone goes to the flesh market to sell something to the Thulian. He's sort of like the broker of organic material. With a 31, you also know, because you're also a citizen of the Slough, the Leatherton district or the Leatherton borough is a dangerous one.
Mm-hmm.
people disappear there.
And end up.
Oh, there's also a place called All World Meats that is also in the the district. We should go there.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Okay, so visiting. It sounds like Leatherton.
Yes.
Okay.
Go check out Dr. Zekel and his handler, Mr. Biggs.
Okay, so that is a scene that we will do. And then finally we go to Fareosae, and I've had more than a chuckle reading through Matt's downtime notes for what Fareosae has been up to. Could you tell us a little bit about her arts and crafts, Matt?
Yeah, so Fareosae is of course she's a witch raised in part sort of as an orphan with gremlins and evil fae.
Yep.
Fareosae is definitely a wood carver because she's kind of a tree spirit sort of fae.
Bark Wilder's
Masterwork wood carving tools and the Masterwork saw I took from the party pages and I just put that into your home, so
Yeah.
you may have seen that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to use those. Last game, I used them on the wooden horse that Bark Wilder had
Right.
cut in half, and I cut 4. It's because cut in half. You got the horse here,
Yep.
and then there's a tube of horse in between the legs.
Yep.
So
And
I
that was cut in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I cut 4 cross sections out of that.
Out of the tube of horse
the tube
between
of
its
horse.
legs. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to use some joinery to join those together into a 4-section, roughly sort of rough edge, lobed sort of surface.
Yep.
I'm going to use the surface of a table,
Okay.
and for the legs, I'm going to use the horse's legs.
Just above the
Kind of just above the so about I don't know, 2.5 feet of horse leg as the legs for the table.
So it's like a coffee table.
made out
Yeah.
of subsection of horse. Okay.
Yes.
This horrible artistic creation needs a name.
Oh, you're right. It does.
And then it also needs a craft check to see how good this thing is.
Yes. The mighty steed.
Okay.
We need the table.
Alright, so put on your character sheet underneath your home, you have a piece of artwork. It is also furnished called the Mighty Steed. I'm going to give you a +4 craft bonus, just out of, because the horse hooves are realistic and the patterns of the wood are really strange.
That's actually a fair point, and there's a lot of shit that I get for free on that kind of. And,
Yep. So
yeah.
give me a craft check to see how much this table ends up being worth. You may have found a new Etsy business.
I've my base craft woodworking with tools and Bark Wilder's bracers.
Yep.
Is +15, so I'm rolling
Nice.
at +19. 1d20 +19. 29.
Okay, so mark that down.
Will do.
The craft result is 29.
Yep.
I'm gonna just look up perform for a second to give you an idea of if this was a perform check. You were one away from an extraordinary performance.
Yeah.
It's a memorable piece of furniture. Is the way that we'll describe it. It is likely worth more than the time and effort that was put into it.
That makes sense.
Yep. Okay. I don't think that was the only craft that you were doing. Okay.
I found a picture
So
for the other one.
you spent a couple days on this table,
Yeah.
and most of the materials were already there. You just had to do some cutting.
Yeah, mostly joinery, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, this one we posed Gaedran lamb, the wicked Gaedran lamb,
Yes.
and then turned him into wood,
Yep, I think it was kind of like.
kind of like this.
Yeah,
this.
like this up against a wall.
Okay.
Yeah,
And he was already dead when he got turned.
he
into
was
wood.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lop his head off.
Okay, with the saw, that's easy.
Yep, because I want to keep the head around for other things. And then from the rest of the body, because he's a medium-sized creature, I'm going to carve a small-sized creature out of his body.
So
Sort of
off the
stylized.
disembodied, petrified body, you're basically going to put like inside of that. There's a small what?
Child.
Okay, an orphan.
Yes.
Okay, so you're chiseling an orphan out of the petrified body of the decapitated Gaedran lamb.
Yes. The
Okay.
orphan has his hands sort of together, like this, and he's looking down into his hands,
Okay.
and in his hands there's a diminutive fairy. All of this is stylized. I'm not trying to make this too realistic.
Okay.
But
This is a piece of art that you're trying
Yes.
to go for. Okay.
it's
All
a
right.
piece of art.
So this.
And I'm going to cast continual flame on the pixie. So he'll have a little
And what's the pixie
light
made of?
source pixie. The pixie is made out of... I want to pick an interesting part of Gaedran's body to make the pixie out of. I was thinking maybe his nuts. But possibly also maybe his heart.
Okay, both are doable. His clothes. Was he naked?
I think I'll need...
He was naked when
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, I think I'll
Oh,
need
yeah,
the
we
heart.
stripped him, didn't we?
Because that's sort of in
Yeah.
the body of the child, sort of as well.
Yep.
I could cut an eye out, but I think I want his head to look like it has not been carved as if it were wood.
Got it.
Um,
So you turn Gaedran's wooden nuts into a tiny pixie carving,
yes.
which then will be placed in his hands. Okay, so I need 2 craft checks.
Yes. Yes.
As you are okay, so this is more. This is less woodworking and more like sculpture. I don't know if you have that.
No, I only have woodworking. Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
That's
This
prob-
kind of
it's
sculpture.
probably woodworking will be okay. So you have craft woodworking.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You're gonna do something artistic. I think
It's
they'd be the same.
artistic, but somewhat crude, perhaps. And I made I found a good picture of what I kind of want the statue to look like. The other thing that I'm going to do, by the way, is
Okay. First, we need to name this horrible thing that you're doing with the petrified body of Gaedran. Like, what is the statue of the child with holding on to the Fae? What is it? What is it called?
I'm going to call it something super pretentious and fuzzy, like a child's hope.
Okay, write this down.
Yeah.
As I have a feeling that Fareosae may need a new apartment at some point because she's
yeah.
filling it full of our artsy things.
I
Now, very morbid artsy things,
Right.
because also she has
skull.
cacti mythic skeleton skulls bound up and mythic skeleton skulls bound up and used as holders for cacti. But you know, girl's got to have her things. Got to feel comfortable.
yourself, you know?
Treat yourself.
Oh, treat.
All right, and now I'm going to give you a. Do you have continual light?
No, I'm going to buy a casting of it
Oh,
for
okay.
110 GP.
To make your work of art. Okay, so because the wood is weird, and the insides of somebody
Yeah.
makes for interesting patterns, that's +2, and then +2 for the. Actually, I'm going to make you roll the fairy separately.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Because if it's a crappy roll for the fairy, just whatever. Okay.
I'll continual flame it anyway, and
Yep.
call it.
So we'll give you a +4 for the roll for the statue of.
The final thing that I'm going to do is get some copper wire
Yep.
and put the copper wire around one of the child's fingers.
Nice.
Because I want it to be sort of like copper's a reddish metal.
Yep.
So it'll be like that red thread.
Nice.
This is a tribute to Zalara's dead child. And it's a tribute in bloody revenge to her dead child. Yes. So With that,
Roll your craft check to the pretentious piece of revenge art. This is during her revenge period. Nobody really knows why a copper was used around here.
oh, 21 on the statue. The statue kind of sucks.
Yikes.
And on the pixie, 38.
Awesome though.
The pixie is amazing. So to get together, they work. Even if you average them out, like together, it would be. What is that? 9, 8, 29 would be about a 30. So you hit a 29 again, but keep track of them separately.
You could always like go back to the statue and whittle it some more.
Right. That makes sense. What was the DC on 38? Okay, good. Let's get that down there. Oh, and I found what I think is a pretty good picture. There's a statue called Sound 2 by the artist Edward Gormley. That's in the crypts underneath a cathedral in London.
Okay.
And I imported a picture of it into Map Tools and put it in the Pearl.
I think the rule for pictures in map tools is we have to turn them into tokens, so they are game pieces.
It's actually there on the map.
Okay.
I added it to the resource library, and it's not. I don't intend to. If we want to keep it and put it someplace like in the Pearl, we can do that. But I just brought it in to zoom in and look at.
Cool. That's a cool statue.
That's sort of what I'm going for.
Yeah, we'll have to make a token out of it in order to share it on map tools. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we want to sort of stick that up somewhere on the map, yes.
I lost audio.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, so feel free to download Token Tool, or I could show you guys how to do that, and then once we do that, we can share the game piece token of this cool statue.
All right.
So that was Fareosae. Fareosae is busy, kind of going to and fro, working on her grim art. It sounds like she also wants to share some spells with the spellcasters. Are you guys making scrolls for her to consume? So you can learn spells.
So I created under the loot and treasure. I've moved the magic ink that we have right at the bottom. I created shared resources, and I put the magic ink that we as a party have on there. So if there's anything that she wants to learn on the spell on the character sheet, for Zephyros would create a scroll for it.
Where do you put this?
It's under loot and treasure. On the party year.
Okay.
So there's a wealth, which is the wizard slush fund, which is what we can use to buy more magic ink, which I presume we should pretty much use immediately to buy more magic ink.
Yeah, that ink can also be used to craft scrolls with.
Yes.
And you guys should go ahead and divvy those scrolls on that sheet.
So Zephyros.
Yes.
Yeah, I assume we're going to get together like once a day and just sort of touch base.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in fact, I think give me a second. Devil's Pawn Shop, Master, Fleshcraft thing, and then Zephyros and Fareosae's conversation is actually a scene.
Yes.
So good.
Right. Okay.
So I should be able to have bought the one scroll that I want to have him learn at that point. So, geez, I should have done that before I did any of this crafting. Anyway.
Okay, so you actually, you being Zephyros, I'm going to find your token somewhere, go into the conversation layer, and I'm going to pull some people off to the side. We'll say Luudo's hanging with the professor at this point.
So.
Fareosae is covered in sawdust. and she'd gone outside to get something to eat. You noticed Zephyros walking across the street from the Iron Pine Residence to obviously the Moresvine Residence where you and the professor live. The two of you see that there's an old man and a monkey begging for change just outside of the Moresvine Residence, and I've got a token for him.
An old man and a monkey.
An old man and a monkey.
The old man looks like he's a beggar. He's human. And here's the old man and the monkey. Oh, I put him on the wrong one. Old man monkey. There we go.
Which map we going to?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was wondering if this was a Oregon graduate thing.
When you said an old man and a monkey, I imagined Ross from Friends with a monkey. Just an old one.
Why?
Because he had a monkey in the beginning of the series.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Niska? Do you hear money coming this way? Dance for him, dance!
And this well-trained little monkey with a little collar around his neck. There's like this tiniest of cords that if the monkey wanted to escape, it could. And it kind of goes up in front of the old man, sort of disturbed, like in your path, Zephyros, and is kind of doing a little monkey dance.
Nice.
Is there a hat?
Yeah, there is an overturned hat beside the monkey. In fact,
The monkey is trained enough that he's pointing in the hat.
I'll walk up and dance with the monkey.
okay.
I'm actually feeling pretty good with my projects.
Yep.
And I just took perform dance.
Okay.
So
Fareosae seems to be in really good spirits as she saw you as she was leaving the house, and
Sees a little monkey and starts dancing with it.
the old man is somehow knows that dancing is happening. He's kind of clapping along, and the monkey's making happy noises. Give me a perform dance check.
Monkey business, Marty.
You brought us here for
13, not amazing.
13?
Okay.
Competent.
Oh, you bring much joy to an old man's heart. The monkey's now pointing at the hat.
Zephyros decides to take out a couple of coins and throws it into the hat.
Okay.
He throws in $5.
$5. Okay. You notice the monkey does a little bow to you.
Zephyros bows back to the monkey.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Both Fareosae and
7.
okay.
Just a monkey and an old man.
Yeah, just a monkey and an old man.
Nothing to see here.
Fareosae, have you got a perception check?
31.
Okay.
While he was bowing, you noticed the monkey give a little
Tug on the wallet where Zephyros kept his money, and the monkey just stole 4 more dollars from you.
What the hell? Kill it. Give the monkey his all.
He didn't grab the whole wallet. He just kind of tugged a couple of things, and he's like goes and shows his master the money. You notice the monkey put some of the money into the hat.
Luudo would really enjoy this performance, I think. We should invite him.
Yes, the more the merrier. The more the merrier, says the old man, who's now got the hat on his head.
Yes, a good bit more, don't you think?
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
He says.
This is Zephyros.
Are you the one that makes the loud noises when he walks?
Yes.
Are you perhaps a GIF? No,
And he's kind of reaching towards you and he touches your leg.
you're a Fant.
I am.
Yes. Apprentice, are you not?
I am. But so are most wizards.
Yes, until they become masters.
That is right.
And who is the novice dancer?
Rude. The monkey's just sort of fidgeting like at the old man's beard and is kind of just trying to stay out of the way.
The dancer is Fareosae.
Fareosae. Oh, very interesting.
Who is a monkey and an old man outside of
I am just Choba they call me. Choba the blind. Before that, simply Choba when I could see.
Does that make sense, I suppose?
This is Miska. I forget how many Miskas I've had. But
It's a mischievous little monkey, isn't it?
oh yes, I like you. Your jokes are very funny. Now, and he starts to rise up. If you could point me the way towards the well, it is time for an old man to drink.
Obviously, we know which way to
Yeah,
point.
no, the well is in the opposite direction of the whorehouse.
Right.
Well, you guys at the crossroads.
That makes
Down
no
one
sense, Marty. That makes no sense. Aren't whorehouses and wells usually next to each other?
I mean, you
Have you
wake up a mighty thirst, you know.
Okay, are you helping him up?
Have you a cup?
Yes, he says, and he produces from his belt. He's got a bunch of junk and things on his cup.
I'll create water in the cup.
Oh,
The monkey crawls up his robe and is like already licking out of the cup.
oh, you're very kind. You're a water giver.
Yes.
You would have been very popular in the days of yond.
Yes.
I mean, the days of yore.
Before the what are we calling this? The
Fall of Yond?
fall of I didn't even catch the on reference.
Yeah.
Before the fall of the forests and all of the other pearls, before the death of these places, before in the summer, in the spring.
Yes.
Here we are in autumn, and it's late autumn. Almost winter.
Yes. Before the fall of garden, he says.
Mm. Were you from the forests?
No, Choba is from here. Choba knew this place when he was young. And this is the place he will be when he dies.
Many will die here. In this squalor.
If you cannot see it, is it really all that bad?
No, and as you age, I'm sure your sense of smell will go too.
Yes.
There are many blessings still to come.
Yes.
Give me a sense motive.
What's the deal with this Monkey King?
Okay, he's got some offering, he got a drink, it's time for him to tootle off to wherever he goes.
Thank you.
He's sort of bowing and backing away.
I'll check my pockets.
Your pockets, yeah, you're not missing anything.
Good.
Yep. The monkey drinks from the cup. He drinks from it and downs it all, and just sort of lets the cup was on a string and lets it go, and begins toddling off into the crowds, tapping with a stick. The monkey kind of following him. The monkey looking back at you guys, like looking over his shoulder, like it was feeling guilty.
Careful, Choba. Sometimes things disappear into the sewers in these places.
Yes, an awful thing. Careful where you step. Careful where you dance.
Okay. Fareosae, you had some business with Zephyros?
Oh, Zephyros. As we're walking up the stairs, I'm going to get you a scroll.
Yes.
I'm going to get you a scroll, and I want you to cast a spell on me, to help me in my work.
Okay. What is the scroll?
It's called Crafter's Fortune.
Ah, that is a good spell to know.
We make things. Yes. So I will buy this for you, if you will cast it on me when I need it.
I will learn it, and I will make it available. Do you need it as well? Can
No.
you not use it? Okay.
It's not a spell that I can cast.
I will cast it on you with great pleasure.
A couple of the scrolls that we got, I can cast, and
Okay.
I would like a scroll of it so that I can teach it to my.
Oh. Okay.
Fareosae Pixel
my
buzzes by your head just in case the subtlety of my friend was lost on you.
It's the glitter dust and the
Yes.
summon monster.
Okay. I have a glitter dust as well. I've just
You already know it.
I'm going to purchase one. I don't have one yet. I was going to purchase one. I was not aware that we have one lying around somewhere.
You should write it into your book and then write it back down on paper for me.
I will do so.
If you can do that for those 2 scrolls,
You want glitter dust, and what was the other one? Summon monster, is it?
yes.
To summarize, they've got this weird sort of relationship because witches teach their familiars by feeding them scrolls of spells, and wizards learn by consuming scrolls or copying from other spell books into their spell book. But the Fant has Scribe Scroll, so there's this weird sort of like he can make scrolls to teach them to Pixel, so that Fareosae can cast them.
Yes.
So while you guys are describing this and making your plans
Yes.
and going off to a nearby marketplace to see if you could find a Craft Fortune scroll, the 3 of you don't quite realize that there are now 3 people shadowing the group of you.
Oh, okay.
The 3 by Pixel, Fareosae, and
Yes. Whereas, so we'll get back to the 3 shadows in a moment. This, of course, is while Luudo and the professor are off doing other things. Fareosae wasn't around when you checked to see if you could find someone to go to the Leatherton with you. Like you're not going to go there alone. You know that this is a bad place. They'll end up carving you up or something. It's just you need some protection. So then you go, I guess, out of convenience across the street, and Zephyros isn't there. You can see that there are some nurses tending to his master.
Yeah, I'm not allowed in there.
They don't allow the 2 thugs outside stop you, and you do see that there are like maybe a trio of nurses. Give me a knowledge arcana or a knowledge local.
Give me all the knowledge. 28.
These are the apprentices of a local apothecary. The apothecary's name is Agnew the Old. She runs a place called Three Dead Frogs, which is nearby. She's an apothecary and an alchemist.
Not a veterinarian.
No, she's an old kenku, which means like crow person. You could see her apprentices are there tending to the old master. The thugs that are guarding Master Telamon from who knows what that were set up by Sai don't let you in.
Yes, of course. I'm just passing through. Please give the great master my best. Old friends we are, of course.
Yeah, whatever. Says one of the thugs. I think we actually have tokens for these thugs because you talk to them. I'm just gonna go to the Pearl Cantina and grab